Over the last 24 hours, we have identified 1,227 new cases of COVID-19 in Alberta and completed more than 16,200 new tests. Our provincial positivity rate currently sits at about 7.6%, and we now have 14,217 active cases. There are 405 people in hospital, including 86 who have been admitted into the ICU. Sadly, there were 9 deaths related to COVID-19 that were reported to us in the last 24 hours. I think often about the tragic impact that this virus has had on many Albertans. Not only those who have lost a loved one, but everyone who has suffered from COVID-19 or been impacted by the restrictions we have used to prevent spread. In schools, there are currently active alerts or outbreaks in 356 schools, about 15% of all schools in Alberta. Currently, these schools have a combined total of 1,326 active cases. This number includes 193 schools with outbreaks, including 89 currently on the watch list. Starting Monday, all students in grades 7 and above will shift to at-home learning until January 11th. Schools are an essential part of our children's health and well-being, and I know that this will be difficult for many. I would like to thank everyone for their efforts and flexibility as we make this transition. I would also like to remind everyone living in enhanced status areas that many of the restrictions for businesses and services announced on Tuesday are coming into effect today. I have issued a new order, number 39/2020, that legally brings these restrictions into force. This order will be posted later today. I urge Albertans to exercise patience and kindness in the days ahead.
To reflect the current health risk, we are temporarily increasing the number of peace officers who can sanction fines against those who break the rules. Currently, enforcing public health legislation is handled by police, health inspectors, and Level 1 Alberta peace officers. Now, on top of this, I am temporarily extending this authority to about 700 more officers, to both certain Level 2 Alberta peace officers and Level 1 community peace officers. This means Alberta peace officers who are Level 2 and work in ministries outside of my department, and Level 1 community peace officers who are employed by municipalities across Alberta. Both already have the training and experience necessary to enforce public health orders if required during a provincial emergency. To be clear, we are not asking these officers to stop code their day-to-day priorities or to harass responsible Albertans going about their everyday lives. As the Premier said earlier this week, this is not by preference, but because of the reality we face as a province. As elected members of Alberta's government, we are simply making sure that more enforcement is available to respond quickly and decisively to situations where groups are breaking public health measures.
I'd like to encourage every Albertan to work with the law enforcement members and Alberta Health Services health inspectors who are working to enforce the rules that are in place. As I have said all along, we are all in this together, and we are all on the same team. I continue to hear some disappointing reports of AHS public health inspectors being criticized or worse, verbally abused as they go about their jobs. Nobody deserves that, least of all the people who are working to keep all of us safe. The criticism and verbal abuse that they are currently facing does not reflect who we are. I'm asking everyone to please cooperate with them and to treat them with respect. I know that the restrictions currently placed on all of us are difficult, but they are not the fault of law enforcement or inspectors, who are simply trying to enforce what is in place and to help stop the spread.